Create the Reaper for me? Almost got me that time.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
Prepare yourself.
You're not trying to escape, are you? I'm ready. You're not trying to escape, are you?
You're not trying to escape, are you?
Prepare yourself.
Better luck. Prepare yourself. Glory is mine.
Better luck next time.
Meet your maker. Glory is mine.
I'll yield to none.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now, no need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
Well, look what the doctor got. You're lucky they didn't notice just how thin you were under those bandages. Although, seeing someone wrapped up like that, they probably thought you had the scabbing plague. Heh? Look, laugh, but don't touch. Better keep that hood down, mind you. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
Playing dead, are you? Probably a good idea.
animals stay? Freight or food?
Did you expect a needle?
You there. Come here. Hey! Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentleman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull, and I guarantee we'll both get something out of the deal.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens, and then another.
Is my shift over? Are you here to relieve me? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Those idiots can't even walk straight without mucking it up. Was it Rick's? I bet it was Rick's. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. If it's all the same, I think it's best he comes with me. Some offence intended. You hear that, Emoire? We're taking a walk. Come on. And keep your hands where I can see them. Hurry it up, sorcerer. We haven't got all day.
No. No, you most certainly don't. That's one problem solved. A dead Magister. Somebody will have to take the blame for this. And it won't be me.
Not the most elegant solution, was it? And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper.
In fact, he seemed quite averse to
Looks
spending
like that
time
collar
with
fits you
yours.
snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Dungeon? You have the gall to call my laboratory a dungeon? I'd be quite annoyed with you if you didn't look so honestly perplexed.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to sauce. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those sauce spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise. My, aren't we a meek little lamb? Perhaps I needn't have collared you at all, though it does look darling on you. So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because to answer your question, what this collar does is this. It makes you unable to cast sauce. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
She frowns and peers at you closely, concern clearly etched upon her face.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. Is he? Oh well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they?
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it and bring them to justice. Who's your real enemy here? You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
I forgot how to sing. I did.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Never thought you'd end up a prison
Well,
guard.
well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
There's some discoloration, as well as a rather disconcerting lack of tongue and gums, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? And of course, a cook who can't taste is about as useful as a dog in a chess game. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can tailor and groom, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle. Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of this honor to sink in. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now, shoo!
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She looks at you in surprise when you bare an arm of bone.
My. Guess I'll have to find out the memory from Marrow, won't I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers, watching, staring at them, hoping that none would stare back. You were thinking of flesh. Or, to be rather more precise, the pleasures of the flesh. Those that have eluded you for so long.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle.
Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep, so to speak. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far? Glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Well, perhaps you're...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What happened?
What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake. Oh.
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your words do not seem to reach her.
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
Gods damn it! We need to get off this wreck, and quick! Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Thank the gods. By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
He leaps to attention and brandishes his blade.
Bishop Alexander. If Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order?
And you thought Rivellon was flat. The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Too much. Please, make it stop.
Sorcerer!
The dog whines and continues pawing at its nose.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters! Great God! Something's pounding on the hull!
pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet. It cannot even resist acid. No.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh. Yes? Shouldn't you be running or screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
I know that you were mortal once, but could you not have let their ignorance fall away with your flesh? I have neither lungs to drown nor stomach to poison. This ship's fate does not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply walk to shore. You, on the other hand, would be better placed finding a lifeboat. I dare say you would be hopelessly lost in the ocean's dark heart. I believe you did, although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
The skeleton holds up his book in one quick, frustrated movement.
I am trying to discover if there is anyone worth saving, and I will be damned if I let the lives of some mayflies get in my way. Go on, go, swim or drown or do whatever takes your fancy. I have a book to read.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You don't recognize the symbol, but it's clearly warning you away. You press your palm against the door to open it. Your fingers clack against the wood, and you suddenly feel grey. The touch leaves you numb, dull. It doesn't budge. The moment you touch them,
Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
the dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
He said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
There's a... Wait! Boy Woken!
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
Let the games begin.
I'm ready.
They who are about to triumph salute you.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
We make a pretty good team.
I hear something. It's Magister Siwan. The one who put on this damn collar. She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. Blood pours out from around the bandage. Magister Siwan reaches out to you, her hand flailing. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks. It's ripping the ship apart! This is it!
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it ashore.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red colour. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
And a dutiful servant you are too. The chances are I wouldn't have survived that shipwreck had you not returned to the aid of your master down that dreadful hold. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so as far as the whole slave business is concerned, let's just forget about it. You may as well have your freedom. Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories. Quite so.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. Of course, it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Well, more's the damn pity, isn't it? For I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. This and that. Tag along. Do you really mean to compare the fate of an empire to whatever foibles you seek to fix. On the other hand, I really could do with a dog's body. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship, after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. Oh, my word. How you do astound me. Come now, did you really think a handful of linen towels can fool me? But don't worry. I have studied the arcane arts for years, including necromancy and demonology. I do not hold the petty prejudices of common folks. In fact, I prefer the exceptional in all things. Your secret is safe with me. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods, then gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without...
A black cat. Hello, kitty. The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. What? No, that can't be. I can't... Hey, stop following me. Huh? Yeah, fine. I'm fine. I'm not sure. It's all a little foggy.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus, and with a jerk he turns away from you.
Never want to set foot on a stuffy old boat ever again. Never. Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat, huh? I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago. Say hi for me.
The cat's eyes are clouded.
We already know the truth, Magister. Now speak.
I am a proud lord. Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, you!
Atrusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atrusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
The Lizard Magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
He hasn't changed a bit. Always late. Come on, old Larry. I can't wait to get it.
What's this? I found something.
The cat's eyes are clouded.
I need a shovel.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
I find any bread, I want no trouble.
Bread or biscuit, toll's the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others.
Bow your head, please! If we chant the endless prayer, the next divine will ascend! So do I. By the divine, so do I. If Bishop Alexander doesn't rise, I don't know who will protect us from this darkness. Some blame the Voidwoken for Alexander's failure to ascend. If all we sorcerers can be cured, then the Bishop shall be free to rise. So chant the endless prayer.
I find any bread, I want no trouble.
Bread or brisket, toll's the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others. Pathetic.
You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cud chewer.
Have your cud.
Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of metal, the woman is manipulating a glove-like contraption fitted with 5 long metal skewers. She doesn't look up as you approach.
And what you after? I ain't. Just seeing how it's made. She's clever, Dallas. Made these herself, for those bodyguards of hers. Boy, they're sharp.
She looks up.
You looking to buy something? Found it in the scrap heap not so long ago. We used to know each other back in the day, you know. Dallas and I. Never knew her to be much of a wrench head back in the day, but once she joined the Order, she started turning out all manner of oddities.
She nods once.
You looking to buy something? Or do you just want to waste my time with a whole lot of questions? For you? Hell no. That's for me to know, and you to get out of my face. Buy or shove off. All manner of things. Have a look.
I find I need bread. I want no trouble.
The Magister stares at the ground, unaware of your presence. With a start, she looks up and realizes someone is standing right beside her. Her eyes meet yours. She doesn't blink.
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. For now. But someday he'll be as divine as his father before him. Divine as Lucian.
Her voice trails to silence, and she resumes staring at the ground, lost deeply in thought.
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. They say his powers are not developing as they should. They blame the Voidwoken. But we need his powers to develop so that he may banish the Voidwoken. It's quite the pickle. I wish it every night. More than anything. Hmm? Oh, yes. Only a week or two before, well, you know. I wanted to serve him more than anything. But who didn't then? He was driving the Black Ring back, soon to rout them entirely. I put my faith in the Bishop. Reminds me of his father. And what he said has been true. Wherever there are sorcerers, Voidwoken strike.
Leave me. Go.
She bends over double in a violent coughing fit. As it subsides, she dabs her mouth with her sleeve.
Mercy. I hope that it is. Can't stay here.
Got a little too close to Mona, did you? Poor dear won't let me heal her. Lost all hope, I suppose. Why'n't you let me clear that up for you? No trouble. You're not the first, and you won't be the last.
So this is for
delivery.
Joy.
Surely you'll have one.
What a crumbling disease.
I know that look well enough. You're about to pop, ain't ya? Why don't you enter a match and let some of that frustration out the right way? Winning has its own rewards, if that's what you're after. Slip down the hatch and talk to Thorn. Put those greasy hands of yours to work.
That you wanted. Take your coin, then.
Ain't fit for beasts.
Griff is slowly, methodically peeling the skin from a potato. As you approach, he looks up, setting the potato, but not the sharp little knife, down on the table.
What? Who's asking?
He smirks and holds the little knife up to the light, watching it glint.
I'm listening. Can't help you there. If I could, I wouldn't be here peeling goddamn potatoes.
He points the tip of his blade at the grisly sight of the elf hunched over, clutching his knees in the cage.
I solve my own problems. Oh, they'll cure you of your sauce. Nightshade will cure you of an headache, too.
To avoid woken are attracted to sauce. But why?
Watch yourself.
When another
Nice and slow. Heading into the kitchen? Don't try anything funny around, Griff. I'm watching you. Ha! Cheeky. What's your name? All right, Slick. Haven't seen you around here before. When did you get in?
Ain't fit for beasts.
All right, easy now. You seem sweet, but I'm more curious about you than a bunch of cheesy lines. Ha! Thank you. Long enough, I reckon. I'm surprised they haven't come for me yet. Most folks get taken away for the cure after just a week or two. By the divine, haven't I? Back home again. Or to somewhere totally new. Sun, wine, freedom. But those are just dreams. No one can escape from here.
She laughs. The sound fills the air like the ringing of a bell.
Now, wouldn't that be something? Look, I have an idea. I know we don't know each other very well, but time is so short and a connection is so rare. If we get out of here, will you meet me again in Arx?
Worse than war rations, these.
She leans forward and grazes your cheek with her lips.
Until then. Need something in the kitchen, do you?
The shrine depicts Lucian the Divine, avatar of the 7 gods. A low, resonant vibration hums somewhere deep within you. Your knees buckle. The hum grows louder, the world tilts and fades.
Shrine, by the looks of it.
You push you.
I want only bread.
Come on then, Legsy. Pay up.
I find only bread. I want no trouble. This is not your business, Long Pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheapskate like this one. Griff already knows she don't like to pay her fair share.
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms. You recognize him. It's Ifan, who you met aboard the ship on the way here.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff, especially not one of you.
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow anyhow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
Ifan rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops. Say, you were on the ship here with me, weren't you?
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours.
Suit yourself. Probably wise, given the rashes you can pick up around this place. Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're safely on dry land. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place? The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1, and when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Should keep more of our blood in. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are. Lead the way.
The old dog looks up at you but doesn't lift his greying head from his paws. He heaves a heavy sigh.
I'm Buddy. It's no use anyway. You're nice. Emmy would have loved you. She was my mate for the last 7, carry the 2, plus 50. 5 years! The Magisters, they took her. I love you. Say, let me show you something. Oh, hey! Hey! I thought you might be Emmy. It's key? What key? Oh, the key! The Magister who took Emmy dropped it when he was walking away. Did someone say Emmy? Oh, Emmy. If you find out where it leads, if you see Emmy, tell her I miss her. Not too far from here, but she was taken by a guy in a white robe who smelled horrible. Like lots and lots and lots and lots and... lots and lots of dogs. And also a little like dead people. He dragged her to the big castle just there. I'm so worried about her. I think I love you.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. Rare is the human who goes against their own for an elf.
The elf appears momentarily puzzled by your comment, but then offers you a dignified little bow.
As far as I'm concerned, you are noble and just in both actions and appearance. I am in your debt. I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs, I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magisters come. My family runs, but I fall. My son looks back. I shout to him to run. I am taken. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this. Thank you.
Got you! Got you!
The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns towards you when you approach. She smiles as though she recognizes you, though she couldn't have seen your face.
Ah, hello. I see you come a long way. I see you come here seeking a great adventure. Do you find it?
She laughs and looks around as though taking in the scenery, though her eyes are still covered.
Many people to meet, many stones to turn, and there is a great joy here, as though the walls and water themselves were made by many smiling gods. Even if we are here under unhappy circumstances, still I feel it. I see it before my eyes. It is not so bad. I know which days have bread and which days have none. I know more bread comes someday. It helps.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way. Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? He knows how to leave. My protector, my friend, an elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help me, to save me, and he suffers very much. He is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek, a way out. You bring me great peace. Thank you, my friend. I miss him very much. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. He is a lizard of many dreams, of far feeling. You do not free Amiro without him. Yes, please ask. I feel him, but I do not see him.
You're too slow! You're cheating! Whoever kills the other is the boss! You can't get me!
Ooh.
That you wanted.
Leave him be. Don't make me say it again.
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist. Caught him red-handed trying to make off with a second crate after he took the first. Went down like a rent boy when we grabbed him. Easy.
Here's the goods.
Supplies. Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. Alls I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate, and you got yourself a deal. Ain't been here long, have ya? No one gets to have it all. No one starves anyone else.
He twirls his knife between his fingers.
Divine's gone. This blade is the only god watching over Fort Joy.
An elf, caked in mud and blood, looks up at you from the bottom of the cage. He holds his shoulder at a strange angle. Despite his condition, he appears eager for your attention.
You believe what he says? That I am a thief?
He perks up and wipes his face with his good hand.
Sahela, you speak to her? She is all right then.
Good. Huh. She sees my trouble, of course. She already knows. And she knows I help you out of here in exchange. It is all prepared. It is ready. I am too weak to go. But I must care for Sahela. You release me, and I show you the way out.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much.
I am no fool. If you can leave, you do. I see no one. In fact, I only hear the sound of Griff clearing his throat. You know how he does? Like so. For some time, I think Griff takes his own supplies. But I see the anger in him that he does not find it. He truly does not find what he seeks. I intend no harm. I want only some provisions. A bit of bread, a potato or two. Nothing Griff should be loath to give. I need to escape, and I have people to consider. You understand? Griff is a powerful man. Power is mysterious, in case you haven't noticed. Thank you. And hurry. Please.
Ain't fit for beasts.
She smiles and gives you a long, meaningful...
Soon! I know what you mean. I can't wait to leave this place. I can't get it out of my head. Psst, hey, you're a little light in your pack, ain't you, mate? Who could blame you with the garbage they got for sale round here? Why don't you take a gander at the goodies I got? Stuff you won't find anywhere else in camp. Procured by special means. Hey, oh, nice try, Midge. Now, put that shiner away, and I'll shave a little off the top, how about?
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much.
Nice and slow.
Worse than war rations, these.
Careful. Don't want to catch Griff in a bad mood.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again.
You already know the terms. Nothing else to say. Sure, have a look. Ain't fit for beasts.
Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Keep it down, will ya? Not scared, are ya? Go on.
The woman looks up as you approach, wiping her brow with a grease-blackened hand.
What do you need? Ha! The hammer got you curious. Yeah, funny name for a gal like that. When I knew her, the Feather would have been a likelier name.
She nods once.
Clever lass, her. No wonder what Alexander sees in her. Question is, what she sees in him. Oh, I dunno. She was a sweet soul, quiet, loved her family. Always seemed strong as I recall, but she didn't come across as no fearless military leader back then. She was just a girl. People do change, don't they? Oh, Dallas, you maniac.
I saw what you did there, convincing Burrow not to lay the law down on that elf. Why do you want to help one of them? Then you're in the wrong place. We run this joint, Griff's people, and we don't cozy up to oddballs.
Mummy's right here. Where are you?
She's gone.
Please, please, you must help me. No one here will help me. Not one of these bastards. A child is missing. My baby. Oh, bless you, bless you. She's been missing for days now, and not a single soul will help me look for her. Irma's her name. She's about as high as your hip. Black of hair, a quiet child, not prone to wandering off. I'm sick with worry, completely sick. And no one in this damn camp will lift a finger to help me find her. I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little doll, and I was washing out her tunic. I turned from her for one moment, and she was gone. Left her doll behind, too. It's so unlike her. This place turns people cold. Cold and wicked. That fellow Jeth over there speaks unutterable evil, but I can't move away from him. What if Irma comes back and I'm not here? Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you find her, give her the doll and tell her, Mummy says this is for her little chicken, and it's time to come home. That's what...
She soaks up a steady stream of tears with her shirt sleeve.
She ought to come with you then. She ought to follow you back to me. You are an angel. Truly you are.
A fella can't hear himself think with all this racket. Day and night she hollers after that child. You hear that, Farah? You got to cut that out. What's happened to ya?
Irma, where are you, darling?
Aye, she needs help, but none that I can give. Mad as a cooker, that one, and twice as loud. Distraught don't even begin to cover it. She's hollering after that child of hers, killed by a void woken she was. Been dead and buried for a month now. Never even stepped foot in Fort Joy.
Come on, old man.
And there ain't no amount of hollering that'll bring her back.
Irma?
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your fifth blue just to this round. Whoa. Grab it, you gobblers, the both of you.
Looky, looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. No problem, Freshie. In that case, enjoy your stay. But I'll be needing to collect your interment fee first, of course. I'm sure the Reds told you. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets. Now, why would I go and do a thing like that, Freshy? I don't owe you nothing. Oh, take a hike, then. I don't need your pocket lint anyway. And by the by, you ought to find Griff in the kitchen. He's always looking for more of our kind to get in on what's good to get.
He hasn't changed a bit. Always.
Huh? What are you doing here? Thought Griff had you making the rounds inside. Oh, hey, you're right. You look just like Christoph, though. But I reckon he was got rid of, now that I think of it. And time sure flies.
What are you after, Pipsqueak? Well, going around poking Griff's guard ain't the way to do it. In fact, I'd go ask him if he's got a spot for you on his team. Joining up's the best way to survive, if that's what you're after.
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe. As she catches sight of you, recognition flashes in her terrified eyes. She drops her hands from her throat and starts hyperventilating.
Ben, Mist! Ifan! Ben, Mist! You killed them! You killed them! He killed them all! Murderer! Keep him away from me! Help! Somebody! Keep him away! Stay back. Stay back. Keep that monster bedmast away from me.
Oh, 10 bottles of mead.
This place has made you cranky.
1,000 bottles
Cut up,
of
old
dust.
chap. There's plenty of singletons
50
about.
bottles of... Ho, ho! Ain't come to shake me down for my knickers, have you? You're all I got left after your buddies were through with. That's so. Ho, you look just like them. But then again, I never was the best at telling your kind apart. No harm intended, of course.
You should be happy for Greed.
What did you say?
That's what happened, isn't it?
Bleeding snake.
Now, let's not get nasty. Greed's better off, I'm sure.
Keep my name out your mouth, how about?
Easy now, old chap. It isn't my fault she's dead. Gods, please, excuse us.
You're talking to me, not him, Sam.
Oh, for the love of Lucian, Balladeer. You're acting like a madman.
Say it again. What you said about my wife. Go on. Piss off. Go on, Sam.
Well, it's the truth, and you know it. She's better off. So what if it was messy? I'd rather puke myself to death 1,000 times than let the Reds get to me. If she were my wife, I'd be happy for her.
A flat smile twitches across Balladeer's lips.
She never did like you.
The man looks for a moment at the corpse at his feet, then turns back toward the nearly finished coffin, bloodied hammer in hand.
Murder's a big word. And no, this here's a bed for someone 1,000 times better than that snake. Rest her soul. The love of my life, Gret. She passed in the night. Something in the stomach. Doctor couldn't help her.
He tenderly runs a hand along the coffin's side panel.
If she were here, she'd tell me this plank is crooked. Chastise me for using warped wood on her final bed. Then she'd laugh and kiss me. Just here.
The man holds a hand to his cheek for a moment. He turns from you, lines up another nail, and hammers it into the panel.
Bastard.
Ha! I found you, didn't I? Red, they said. Red, then dead. Not an attempt, mate. Not if I can bloody help it. Time's up, Your Highness. Let's dance. It's stabbing time.
Damned nuisance these assassins are. It's their frightful manners I mind the most, really. Well, that was rather fun, wasn't it? I do find it ever so invigorating to cut a cutthroat's throat. Oh, one gets used to this kind of thing so quickly. This is hardly the first time someone's filled some poor fool's purse and bid him kill the prince. I'll tell you what, though. Whomever wants me out of the picture will have to do a lot better if they seek to get the better of me. All those bumblers they've sent so far mark a mere insult to my swordsmanship.
The woman looks out on the gently lapping waves. She seems totally at peace, but as you approach, she turns to you with a cheerful smile.
Haven't seen you around here before. Well, don't worry too much if you have a hard time settling in. Takes a while to get used to the place. You here alone?
She gives you a long look.
You keep them friends of yours close, eh? Some of us haven't got anyone at all anymore. Not much in this world someone you love can't make better. It's nothing. If I haven't learnt that by now, I haven't learnt anything at all. Used to be I had a family. A husband and a little boy. We were healers. Source was in our blood. Then they brought us here. I couldn't stop them from taking my boys from me when they did. Reckon they were cured. Maybe even released. Don't know why the Reds didn't take me too. Now I'm just waiting for them to call my name. Waiting and remembering. Thank you kindly, sweetheart. I do appreciate it. They were good lads. Too good for this place. In some ways, I'm glad they got out quickly. Listen to me, bubbling on like a cauldron. You're sweet to listen. And yes, they were lovely. Totally lovely. I'll see him again before I'm gone for good. That's for certain. You run along now, darling. You shouldn't spend what little time you've got left here listening to an old bleeding heart moan.
Here you are. I wonder what keeps you. Tell me your tale. We are unfamiliar, yet familiar. We are the same material, you agree? I am very curious. So tell me your tale. Start from the beginning. Start from where you come. I see. Now tell me more. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you find. I understand. Now tell me how your story ends. Ah, you want reunion. Life is lonesome. Yes, life is lonesome. The thing you love is gone. I have something for you, my friend. A gift. We can see the things we lose, not with our eyes, but with our hearts. This ruby does the trick. It is nothing. Many fragments swirl on my shore. See what I gather. Tides in and out and in again.
Wouldn't know a thing about you and I, Gritty.
Collared like a dog. A very tall, very strange-smelling dog. I'd pity you, but Shepra the Ineffable has a soft spot for beauty, and you carry that choker off very well. Laughing in the faces of my enemies, of course. Little do they know, the most powerful sorcerer the world has ever known scuttles on their very shores. But of course, they'll happily dump your meager bony corpse into the sea when they're through with you. Oh, the tragedy of it. Sorcerers dance while magisters pull the strings. Fools all! Their tomfoolery won't save them from the destruction the void shall wreak upon them. This power is my birthright, same as yours, but one of us has grown to astounding heights and the other has sunk to depths too humiliating to describe. Pity. Ha! Of course, precious. But which is worse, the cure or the disease?
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort, pain apparent in every movement, and madness screams from its wide, bloodshot eyes.
You. Quite lost. Careful, or they'll cross your wires. Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time. Maybe I unscrew your lid and poke about inside and set your memory straight. Would that please you? Can you not remember now? Ugh! Where does the yarrow grow? Where? Prepare yourself.
The dead man, creature, thing, lies in a heap on the beach.
Whatever it was too dangerous to be allowed to live.
Once that was a person. A sorcerer, perhaps. Now it's monstrous. What is the Order doing to people here?
I am glad to see you. You fill me with peace. Ah, you help him. Your open heart surprises even me. You bless me. You bless us all. I know they help.
No one tells me there are so many children in this Fort Joy. Your kind I handle, but small ones. Children everywhere and an idiot for good measure. The divine truly dies.
Ah, my unlikely friend. What do you need?
I've got that special shipment he was asking after. Keep it down, will ya?
I ache for battle. You come to fight. You come to prove yourself. You come to be worthy. There can be only one, and you have but one chance.
I've waited this long.
She scoffs.
To prove you are the one. Never mind. The one does not ask such a question. Good. Who aids you? Choose wisely. Whether you fail or succeed, you do not fight more than once.
I can wait longer.
Fading.
Is that thing eating corpses?
Watch yourself, boy.
Please.
Ain't fit for beasts.
Bloody cavies. Too big for their boots, as usual. They ought to keep out of our hair if they don't want to pay for the pleasure. You know, elves, dwarfs, lizards, undesirables. Those of them that'll see the whole realm eaten up by the void woken before they change their ways.
An odd-looking young woman is staring intently at the statue to the divine, fingers curled rigidly at her sides. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks. Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours, dark pupils dilated into great black voids. Light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and her whole body relaxes.
Hi. Who are you, some guy? Ah, it's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... well, a bit... hospitable? Wait, you mean you don't recognize me? Ha! This is great. Really, well, it's a damn good story. Well, I was giving this concert up on Overlook Hill. There was a great crowd. They were really feeling it. But I guess it was too good. I had me a little sauce flare-up. Everyone went a bit, I don't know, wild, rabid. I snapped out of it before anyone got hurt, but the Magisters caught me backstage afterwards. Ah, it's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... well, a bit... hospitable? Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. That ain't bad, though. I'd give just about anything to be like you. But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front, friendly lady at the door beckoning you in for half price. Like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied. Now, isn't that just the question of the hour? I can't be sure just yet. I'll be surprised if it's a demon. Definitely not a sprite either. Maybe a spectre, but I wouldn't bet money on it. So, how are you enjoying the joy? Yeah? I was just thinking the same sort of thing. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that. It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve, so you'll have to pick which one I'll pull out if... when push comes to shove. Lately I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, summon, steal, whatever your little black heart desires. So, what'll it be? Don't know if you could tell, but mysticism's kinda my speciality. Let's get into the nitty-gritty while we're at it. What sort of magic are you interested in? Sounds fine. So, we're good to go? Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought. And I'll do my best to stay myself. Lead the way. Well, duh. I'm sure that disguise will fool most people, but I'm a very sensitive and discerning soul. Most fleshy folks aren't really alive anyway. Don't sweat it. Or whatever it is you do. Now, let's go.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. They were just there but a moment ago.
She's gone. Gone.
something to catch you, do you?